premium coach, and we have a 99 Newell. It has a hydraulic leak. I don't like hydraulics, but you can see it's been leaking right there. Now these use a very complicated slide mechanism that if we get this all working, I'll show you how it all works. But let's take a look at this leak. So here's the hydraulic pump. Those are all the solenoid valves for the slide out because it doesn't have jacks on this one. And I traced it down to this fitting right here is leaking. You can see that. So what we have to do is swedge on a new fitting. HWH uses a swedge fitting, not a crimp one, so it has to be pressed on. And I happen to have the tool to do that. So we're gonna have to replace this. This hose is already too short. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably cut it right about here, swedge a new end on, make a short extension hose, and use a union to connect everything. Which is fine, because generally, if it's leaking right here, this entire hose braided section is usually saturated pretty well a couple inches back, if not a foot back. So you want to go back as far as you can before you have so you don't have any saturated hoses, because this is going to get pressed in, and if the hose is saturated, fluid doesn't compress, and when you try to swedge that on, it doesn't seal very well. It doesn't crimp very well. Before we cut this line, we're going to take the pressure off. It looks like it goes down here. So on this one, obviously we have these releases right there on the new valves. All you have to do is lift up on it. That'll release the pressure. The old valves you need to unscrew. I'm not hearing any pressure relieving on that one. Ooh, I heard pressure on that one. Let's go ahead and relieve that pressure. That pressure, that pressure, that pressure. So I think I've relieved all the pressure at that point. I guess that's the first step. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fitting. So this is the hose that we're using. This is I don't know if Saint Gobain or what is it, Parker? Let's see. Yeah, they haven't labeled it, but this HWH 04 line, you can kind of see it right there. This is the most common line. These are the only lines I'll recrimp. The 02 line, so I would just order new ones from HWH. This is the new fitting. It just fits on. You can kind of see these are hydraulic. And you can't go to a hydraulic shop and have them do this, and the mobile ones won't do it either. HWH is adamant that you cannot use braided hose with stainless steel braiding, otherwise you will cause problems. So they have their own tool, and this is it right here. It has a two-part fitting on it. You're going to feed the hose up in, go into there, then we'll clamp that down and swedge it on. It's really weird. It's called swedging, but if you write it down, it looks like swagging. I don't write the English language. What I will probably end up doing is showing you guys how to make the hose on the new hose, because I'm trying to do it in that compartment while holding that rig next to all these battery cables and a camera. It'll look scary, but I'll walk you through it, and then we'll get it hooked up. Ooh, there we go. We're inside now. See me in the mirror? Ooh. Truthfully, I don't really like doing hydraulic work. The key to hydraulics is you have to accept that you're going to get dirty. If you try to keep yourself clean, you're just going to have a bad time and eventually get dirty anyway. So might as well just get dirty at first. So because I know I'm going to get dirty and I have work to do inside, I don't want to get this coach dirty. So I have to do all the inside work first, then I'll get back to the hydraulics. Then we'll take a look at the slide outs. All right, so there's a couple of keys to doing this. This is 1.25 inches. Never, ever, ever use an impact. You can just ratchet, use a breaker bar, use a big crescent wrench, use a big wrench. Never an impact, you'll destroy this Acme screw. There's actually ball bearings within this that keeps it going really smooth. And you can see this nut's actually been crimped on. So if you use an impact, you're going to destroy this tool. Then HWH is going to get mad at you. You have to send it back to them to fix it. Alright, so all I have to do is open it all the way up. Let's see, those should go that way. Take the die out. There. Now the end of the hose should be free of anything like that, so we need to cut it. You should always use a pair of hose cutters like this, not a razor knife. You need a nice short, sharp cut. There you go. So those dies go in. Right there. And these are very end specific. They're only going to work on the hose end that it's supposed to work on. I'm having a hard time there. There we go. That gets pushed in, and that gets pushed in. The handle likes to loosen up, so tighten that up. Alright, so you feed that up in there. You feed that all the way on. All the way. And tighten that up. Lock it on. You know, hold the hose up in there. Alright. Got a flat spot right there. Get that moving loose. There we go. See, it's been crimped around there really well. And driven and swedged. That's what it looked like before. There's one more to go. Alright, so we got both those ends on. One there, one there. They'll be put on with a union. So I should have more than enough slack here now. So the reason why I don't do the skinny ones, usually the skinny ones are cut to length and they're a match set. And if you cut off too much of them, it can start throwing the hydraulics off. Whereas the big ones, it's usually not much of a problem. So I'm gonna have to cut it probably right about there. All right, so let's go ahead and try it this way. I wasn't a coward, don't blame me. All right, so we did relieve all the pressure. We did good. Let me get a cup. Try to collect everything. Yeah, like I care. All right. So now I can go ahead and cut it right where I was going to cut it before. Let's cut And now we're draining. Let all the oil that's in there drain out, because again, we don't want to try to crimp this with a tube full of oil. So when we do crimp it, we're going to be lifting it up like that. It looks like we did a pretty good job. I took a look at it and it didn't look too saturated at that point. So let's let that drain, then we'll crimp it. Alright, so it looks like it's about done dripping. So I'm gonna mock this thing up and get it crimped on.
Alright, what are we doing?
Well, I need you to hold this whole contraption. This is hydraulic pressure fitting union. For whatever reason, on 04 hoses it's 5/8, and usually that union is 1/2 inch. In it. And put it on. So that should be done. Okay, so there we are. I'll zip tie that up after we're done. I just need to make sure I tighten all these up, because it slides all the way out. What I need to do is keep running the slide out, because I don't want to have any air in the system, so I want to try to bleed everything out, because these are very complicated slides. Let's go inside. So this floor right there drops down. Okay, so this slide, the engine has to be running. We have the air pressure up. We don't need the AC on right now. And I'll let the air pressure build up. We're at 90 and 90. I guess I might as well do fast idle for a second. We'll let it build up and come back. Alright, I think I got us with our pressure built up there. I leveled us. Engine's still running. Open that up. So with that turned on, the air seal has been retracted. So I'm going to go ahead and extend it. Alright, so I hear that whistle. That means I should have pressurized everything. Alright, that relief valve's opening, so I guess we should go out and make sure the hose isn't leaking. So far so good there. Now we get to see if it'll retract. There goes the floor out of the way. Alright, there goes the slide coming in. Now there are lock pins at the top right there. So there are the lock pins right there. Oh. And then if I were power to turn it off. Now the air should go back into the air seal. And nice and tight there. So I guess it's time to extend it out. Turn it back on again. And now that seal should open up. There it goes. Just like an inner tube, a bicycle tube right there. Alright, wait for our orange light to turn on. So our orange light is on, now I should be able to extend it. Alright, so it's going out. Here comes the floor, hopefully. And there's the floor. And there's the relief valve. So we should be good there. Let's go ahead and turn the fast idle off. Turn the ignition off. Alright, so here we are back out here if you can hear me. Doesn't look like anything's leaking there. Nothing's leaking there. Just have to tie this thing up. Clean up my mess in there. And there's this battery cable that goes to that relay. Check this out. It's loose, so I gotta tighten that up. Maybe that's a better view right there. It shouldn't be that loose. So let me just go ahead and do that. Alright, so there we are. We're all zip tied up there. And that battery cable is nice and tight now. We should be good. Let's go ahead and go inside. Hey. Sorry about that. Well, there it is, guys. Splicing HWH 04 line. Now, this was a 99 Newell, but HWH is pretty common hydraulics on a lot of motorhomes. Winnebago uses them a lot, hence is why I happen to know a lot about them. I have gone to a number of HWH schools, and I can only relay what they've told me. It's a weird glare on my glasses. Sorry about that. So, 04 line, you can go ahead and splice. You need this tool. You need the right swedge fittings. You don't want to crimp them. HWH does not like you to use braided hoses. Their orifices on their valves are really, really small, and they don't want any stainless steel in them. They're very particular about that. I don't recommend trying to repair 02 lines, which is a small little 1/8 inch line. I would just order those replacements from Winnebago. Not Winnebago, HWH. They do have 03 line, but it's not nearly as common. Well, I have to go fix a generator slide because there's an air line that's melted behind the generator on the front of this thing. So that's the next thing I have to do. But let's take a look at this. It's still a nice looking coach for a 99. I mean, obviously it's got the beautiful sculptured carpet in there. It's actually held up pretty well. A lot of it's been upgraded. This is a strange one too. It's not your most common. So it only has a single bathroom. So you can see me all the way back there in the closet. There's no bathroom back in the back. It only has the one head toilet and the showers in the bedroom. Other than that, you got the brand new refrigerator, washer, dryer units right there. This does have a basement air, aqua hot heat. That's another thing I had to fix. And there's your control center. And Newell's claim to fame, in my opinion, is that they only have one wastewater tank for gray and black. Also, they like to use a weird fitting for their hoses. There's the bedroom. Let's try to do the coolest thing ever, right? Look at this. Bedboard open, close. And I'll leave you with that. So you got a power lift bed. Ooh. I mean, some might say lifting it up is too much work. But not me. You got to have power. And there it is. Now you can get under your bed. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I did not enjoy that. I never enjoy hydraulics. I stayed pretty clean. That's pretty impressive to me. And I only got 3 fittings, so I'm lucky that I did it right the first time. Bye. Yeah, that's what they say about me.
What is that smell?
Not so hot. The fuel that was in that thing was really bad. That's why I serviced it.